Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line and Talking Points, our weekend review show, where we're going to go through all the best and worst performances of the weekend. Lass, how did we enjoy the weekend racing? 3 days of Cheltenham, 2 days of Punchestown.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, it's magical.
It's way better than the Breeders' Cup. I don't give a fuck, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely. Breeders' Cup is good for like a one-off night or 2 nights for the year, but that's enough of it. Like, you know, you get, and I love it because you get straight into Cheltenham then the week after. It's class.
Nothing compares to Cheltenham. Any Cheltenham meeting, even the point-to-point meeting in April is even better.
That's a good meeting.
You look forward to it from October on, the 2-day meetings at Cheltenham all the way through to the festival.
You do. Right. Before we get started, as always, get your questions in at the end of this. We'll go through them all and give our thoughts on everything and that you want to talk about. So we will start off on Friday, cross-country chase, where it looks like, in my opinion, we might have seen the last Tiger Roll, and Easyland took the biggest blow I've ever seen a horse take in his life. He ran on huge at the finish. But anyway, Kingswell Theatre was 22-1 winner with Beau de Brise second. Potter's Corner ran a lovely race into third with Easyland back in fourth. Tom, we start with you. What do you make of Easyland's and Tiger Roll before we get on to the winner?
Start with Tiger Roll. I noticed him at the start, and I don't know if I've ever noticed him do it before. Really, he was sweating up, and he looked sweating up. He was sweating up, which is a bit odd because it was freezing cold in November over there. And he just never travelled, did he? He never travelled. He never jumped. The writing was on the wall a long time before Robbie Power pulled them up. I'm sure they'll give him one more go and hope that was a one-off, and you know, hopefully it is a one-off. Hopefully he does come back and performs the next day, but you obviously couldn't back him now. Easyland, yeah, I thought the same as you, Andrew. He blew up to me. You know, he took a blow, he got outpaced, and he ran on again. Classic run of a horse who wasn't fit enough and took that blow and ran on. His jumping was okay, but I think his jumping is normally only okay. You know, he's not a spectacular jumper by any means. I'm not put off for the cross country race at Cheltenham at all. He's gone out to 5-2. His main danger was Tiger Roll, and he's like taken a massive blow there to his chances. This is the one massive thing to note, obviously, if nobody's noticed it already, was this is a handicap, and the race at Cheltenham is off level weights. So he was carrying 22 pounds more than Kingswell Theatre, 22 pounds more than Beau de Brise, and 21 pounds more than Potter's Corner. So on a normal day, he's only been beaten 9 lengths then when he's ran on. Off level weights, he should pick them up and carry them, to be honest. So no, I'm still very confident about him for the cross country. However, I did pick up on something. They jumped that entry fence twice, and twice he jumped it horrifically. So I'm taking a pull on any Grand National bets just at the minute.
Well, on that, jumping the Grand National fence, I done the same thing when Tiger Roll done it this meeting before the first time he won his Grand National. He ploughed through it twice, took it from the roots, and I rode him off all ends up. But from watching them on Friday.
Oh, I'm going to need a drink to get through this. I can just feel the shit coming at me later as this progresses.
I have Guinness out there. I should have got it before we start.
I'm going to need something to get me through this anyway.
What I was saying, that I didn't have a problem with Johnson Ploughing until Friday. He's too erratic, for the love of God. Like, stop trying to do a handstand on the back of the horse. Just hold on with your both hands. He's too erratic. I didn't have a problem until then. He's going to cost the horse more races than he's going to win.
That's just the way they ride, though. It's like American flat jockeys. They're completely different to UK and Irish flat jockeys.
That's not a style. That's not a style. That's being a toad.
It is. It's a different style.
How benefit to the horse doing this?
You could say the same about how Patrick Mullins pushes out a horse.
Well, he's
in theory, sitting down on the horse's back like that should hinder it more than it helps it. But
do you not think when he's going back like that and he's one hand on the rein, he's yanking the jaw off the horse? There's no two ways about it. That's what he's doing. You've been on a horse and I've done the same thing where you think you're going to fall, you go back and the hand's holding on.
He does, because the horse turns his
and
head to the side.
You're yanking the horse. It's going to lose all momentum.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to come down to the jockey. Like, the size of the fences they jump in France are insane.
Yeah, but we're talking about the jockey. How he's hidden. He's going to cost him a few lengths if he keeps doing that, and that could be the win and the losing of the race.
When he does do that, he yanks the horse's reins to the side and he pulls his head to the side. But look, it's no secret that I don't think I all the time said.
Please say it the way you said it last week.
He won't get over the national fences. He will not get over the national fences. He doesn't jump well enough to get over the national fences. Tiger Roll's a way better jumper than he is. He's undoubtedly very, very talented. I wouldn't be rowing in now. It's one of the 3 races that I have no opinion on and won't be back in multiples or anything leading up to the festival ante-post. He needs heavy ground or deep soft ground. He needs like French heavy soft ground. That's clear as day after the other day. He did take a blow, but I still think
soft ground though.
It wasn't soft enough. It was like good to soft on Friday. They weren't after getting the range because Jason even told us that they were hoping the range showers would come. I wanted to see him run better. As much as you can give a horse an excuse, I don't think he ran anywhere near what he could have ran or shown last year. And the jockey is not a positive. No matter what way you dress it up, he's not a positive. I understand he's a French horse, he's a French trainer, he's a French jockey. That's all well and good. The fences in Auteuil are very tall, they're tough fences. But they ride the races differently in France. They ride them at different pace, at different speed. There's a different feel to the races. He's not a positive. Doing this on a horse going around 40 fences or however many fences, it's going to end up in tears. Like, he nearly fell 3 times the other day. I'm glad you said, Tom, you were worried about his jumping because it was poor the other day.
That is first time out for the season, though, so let's hope he was a bit ring rusty. I'd put it to you this way, though, right? So I think it's fair to say, given the weight turnaround, any of those horses you ran against at the weekend, he'll beat them in March. I think that's fair. He gave them like 22 and 21 pounds. That's an awful amount of weight, and he was only beaten a few lengths. What else is going to run against him in March that could beat him in a cross-country race?
Tom, I totally agree. Like, you equate the weights, he should beat the horses, and if he performs like he did last year, he will. But like, you have to weigh up the positives and negatives. Like, if you said to me now, Davy Russell is going to sit on his back and guide him around those fences, I'd happily take 5-2. But I'm not taking 5-2 with him on it. No chance.
But I think as Tom said, when it comes to March, he's going to be tuned to the minute. He's going to have runs under his belt. His main danger is practically on the verge of being retired. When you look through the field, there's not a blessed thing that's going to get near him if he runs the half of what he ran last year. He's that much better than him. But on the Grand National, I wouldn't touch him near Grand National.
No.
He'd get away with the dodgy jumps around the cross-country course because he could probably go around with his eyes closed with Jonathan Pugan at the back.
He's savage at the banks. He makes up about 5 lengths at the banks. He's absolutely savage at them. And you think in France, they're schooling over banks from when they're babies. In the UK and Ireland, we don't school horses over banks as a general rule at all. So he'll make up his lengths there. We're knocking the jockey, but he's got around on him twice. It's not like he's fallen off him. So
it's not that.
He's not. I'm not there going, oh, this is fantastic. Jonathan Puganu's on him. This is great.
Yeah,
but
I get it as well.
Better than the rest.
I'll put it to you like this. it's like you saying Envoy Allen's win is going to hinder him. We're saying John DePluga is going to hinder him. He is hindering him. There's no two ways about it. You can't hand on heart. Take your connections away with Jay and all them. Hand on heart. He is a hindrance to that horse. There's no two ways about it.
I don't know about hindrance.
He's costing the horse lengths when he's hanging out of him.
I don't know if he is.
It's not.
I'll put it to you this way, Tom. Right? There's a jockey that all three of us think is not the best jockey, Joe Colliver. He's not the best jockey going. If you had
let's not touch on that subject.
If you had Sam Spinner, right, and you had Davy Russell or Joe Colliver, and all three of us would pick Davy Russell to try and get the horse around a couple of fences or whatever. You have to make something a positive. Like, he is loads of positives for him, but the jockey is a negative. And I personally won't be backing him if he's still on him. I'd back something each way in the race. And if I learn tomorrow, okay, Mark Walsh is going to sit on him because he's JP's jockey, I'd happily then put him in multiples and stuff.
After that shit show today.
We get to that. We get to that. That was a shit show.
Yeah, look, the reality is he's going to ride him. It'll all come down to price. If he's 5-2 up against those same horses come the day on March, he won't be. But if he is, I'd have a very, very nice bet on him. But I imagine it'd be odds on. So.
You can probably see him coming back next month for a cross country again, and he probably will win that. That's off. As far as I know, it's the next one off levels.
Yeah, I think so. They're not all handicaps anyway.
Yeah.
No, or is it?
I think it's off levels. I think this one is the only one that's handicapped.
Yeah, it's very easy to find out. Hang on, because he won it last year.
I think it was changed a few years ago. It's either level weights or a compressed handicap. It's one or the other. I don't think it's full out handicap.
It is a handicap.
Oh, is it? Why am I getting this out of it? But yeah, you can see him come back next month. Yeah, there's no entries, obviously, is there?
No, there isn't. No, but yeah, it's a handicap. He won that off 139 last year.
What's he off now?
167.
Oh, Jesus. Right, so it's a little race around Post. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be adverse to not running him in that and running him in. There's loads and loads of cross-country traces in France, and finding the conditions trace from over there, running him in that, and then bringing him to the festival.
Yeah, we just go on to Tiger Owen now.
Wayne Harrison is back in the comments. He's out calling himself Envoy Allen. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Tiger Owen. We were talking about there on Friday after. He's done this before. It looked like he was kind of out of. He thrown in a wobbler after his.
Tom's laughing in the comments. I said to Andrew.
He's laughing at this.
I'm laughing at the comments. They're funny.
He's laughing at that one.
I said to Andrew yesterday when I was texting about the probably retirement. He threw in a season and a half where he just fell apart, and then he came back and became this miraculous entity that he was. So he came back and won the 4-miler at Cheltenham and then just progressed on from there. So I don't know, maybe he's just after throwing the dummy out the pram for half a season or a season again. So
like there's not many,
he's only 10, like
there's not many, but it's not many excuses for him. He's had the run under his belt going into it. He knows the cross country course like the back of his hoof. He's a multi-time winner around there. He's Grand National winner, and he was pulled up. There has to be something amiss, whether he's still feeling the effects of his injury last year or whatever about it. But you'd obviously, for the horse that he is, you're 100% going to give him another chance. Right, it's enough of the cross country.
15 minutes in, all on the cross country. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah, much.
Right. On to the Grade 2 chase over 2 miles where Eldorado Allen and Broke Day is hoodoo with a stroke of luck because Gumball was going to piss in.
I don't know about that now.
Stop now.
He was.
Come here and I tell you.
I'm finished.
Philip Hobbs' horses are on.
We get on to that in a Kellistan back in second, and left Patriarch back in third. Horrible show from Fusel Raffles. Never looked like he was.
Didn't like the ground.
Didn't go 2 fences in. He was struggling. But Eldorado Allen, up to the point where Gumball fell, was putting in a good performance. Gumball was seen to come on for his run behind Fusel Raffles 2 runs before, after he hacked up the last time. He's one to keep on the right side of, but go to you. You were happy the hood was broke.
I was.
Thoughts?
I told Tom to back him, and he did, I think.
He did, and I did. I had that many seconds that I just said, right, I'll just row in with Dave here and I back him. And
look, it was the soft ground. The soft ground, just that was the end of Fusel Raffles, I think. I would give him another chance. He wouldn't be my favourite horse in the world, but I'd give him another chance on good ground.
There's a few horses this weekend that I think you just have to put a line through their runs. And like
there was too many that performed way under par to be a coincidence.
The ground would be different at the festival and in the spring. It'd be good to soft, unless there's loads of rain around that stage of time.
I don't even think the ground was that bad. I'd say it was just so gluey and tacky.
Yeah.
Majority of horses just hated it.
But yeah, a good performance. Gumball was running well as well. He wasn't tested at that stage.
He was going to bolt up.
I wouldn't be so sure of that, because the horses are stopping.
Yeah, but you look at even his hurdle form where he won that race around Sandown. He'd done the same thing. He came off the bridle when something came into him, and he just went off again.
He's a good horse. Gumball's a good horse.
He's
another lovely grey.
But yeah, Eldorado Allen could be a little handicap around.
Yeah, he's a good horse.
Tom, what do you think of it?
I thought Gumball was going to win. Hobbs's horses are not firing on all cylinders, but I think he's had something like 14 placed horses in the last 2 weeks, so they're not tailing off either. And he's had a couple of winners in there. I mean, Eldorado Allen, I put him up on the show as the one behind Fusel Raffles. I was happy with the way he went about it in Newton Abbott in this on his first start. I thought he was good. Where does he go from here? I'm not too sure. Is he a grade 1 horse? I don't think so. But yeah, it was a nice performance.
Yeah, I can't really add much to that. He was good. Got the job done when he needs to. Right, that was only 3 minutes on that. Move on. Paddy Power Gold Cup over 2 miles 4 on the Saturday, where we had Cool Cody, a convincing winner with Spirit of the Games, who just loved coming second. Al Dancer back in third at 5s, and Corto Rico back and forth at 50s. We had very below performances from Simply Bets, Saint Sonny, and Mr. Fisher, all fighting for favouritism. What do we make of it? Do you put a line through for all of them? Do you think it was just the hour at the yard? They just needed to run, or what way would you look at it, Tom? Dave, go on, you were going to.
No, go on, Tom, you go first.
No, personally, I don't think, like, I think Simply the Bets has the beating of Happy Diva, right? And she fell at the second last, I think it was, but he was going to probably finish behind her, even though he did run on. And yeah, I think he's better than that. He looked like he was going to tail off halfway. I thought he was going to absolutely tail, and then he's ran on again, like I don't know what, up the hill. So, he could have just taken a blow and run on. I can't see that he was that unfit for it though, which is a bit head scratching. Not going to give up on him. However, does he look like he's going to turn into a Ryanair horse now? No, he probably doesn't. But that said, Saint Sonnet and Mr. Fisher both ran very well in a grade 1 last time on their previous starts, and they absolutely tailed off. So, just the whole form of that race is up in the air for me. And am I in a rush to back any of them next time? No. Am I going to put a line through them and say they're useless? No, I'm not either. So,
what's your take?
One of the lads in the text group was talking about the JLT as a race as a whole about 2 weeks ago, before we were talking about the Paddy Power. And the amount of winners and horses that have come out of the race and over the years since it's been introduced, it's ended up being a bad race. Vautour is probably the one winner you can remember that ended up going on to better things. But none of the other horses really. Like York Hill won it and he bombed out, and Sire Deschamps won it and he bombed out. Last year's one looked like a decent race, but I would start to question it again now. Sam Crow had excuses the last day, but it was what it was. He didn't run well. The two horses from it Saturday, Saint Sonnet, Mr. Fisher, like Mr. Fisher's all excuses again, the ground, but every time he runs bad, there's an excuse. He's becoming to me a horse that's just never going to reach the potential that they think he has. Saint Sonnet, we've talked about for months through the winter that the race was for him. Simply the bets is from other form lines. I don't know what to make of him because he should have finished ahead of Happy Diva, and if Happy Diva had stayed in our feature, he probably would have been third, I think. So I don't know what to make of his run. It's just a strange race, and the race in itself over the last 5 years has been a disappointment, to be honest, because it used to be a race where you'd have a second season novice come out with a heavy enough weight, win it, and then progress on to be a Grade 1 horse, maybe a Ryanair winner, maybe in the future being a Gold Cup winner, like Alfaroff, Imperial Commander, or horses that won it. It was always like a target race. The last few years, it's rag handicappers are winning. Like Cool Cody, he is what he is. He won a handicap hurdle around Cheltenham by doing the same thing, I think 2 years ago. Straight from the front, just bombed away and stayed there. Like, he ain't going to be a Grade 1 horse.
Do you not think that has something to do with the new fixtures? There's too many Grade 2s and Grade 3s, easy targets for horses like that.
It could absolutely be that. But like the race in itself this year looked really good. You had horses coming from a Grade 1 last year. You had horses coming from handicaps that look like they're going to be Grade 1 horses. That just ended up being a disappointment. I thought it was one of the worst races of the whole weekend.
Yeah, if you look through it, it's like when you have horses like Cool Cody at 10s, where you had simply the bets, the 7s or 6s. There shouldn't be that much. There should be further like gap in the market between them. If there was confidence behind them horses, they would have been backed off the boards by the stable alone. Like, are we dealing with just a muchness crop right now? If, like, I just have Mr. Fisher, there's always an excuse for him. He does this one performance every year where people go, oh, Jesus, but yeah, he's only done it once and he's bombed out the rest of the times. You have Al Dancer, who's notoriously just wins fresh and then does nothing for the rest of the season. He was favourite. He went off favourite, I think. Spirit of the Game, solid horse, placed in a lot of good handicaps. Cool Cody, he got let loose on the lead, and I think he done that around Kempton one day as well, about 25-1 in the big handicap, and he won. You simply the bets who bolted up at the festival. Then you question what did he beat that day? Is his new mark on against him? And you've seen Sonny, who for all purposes was in there off hype from Paul Nicholas' stable, which won't be the first time that happened.
Right.
So
one horse I would have liked to see him stay up, like he didn't last the fence, was Cyril de Lac.
Slows eating fences around Cheltenham.
It'd be hard for him to come back, I think, because he's had to fall twice now. But I would like to see him stay up. He's really good handicap form as well, and I would like to see him what Pipe is after doing with it. But he had a fence and didn't stay up.
I don't think you can take that as the running for any of those three, though. I think they're all better than what they showed on Saturday. I'd be pretty confident in that.
I agree, Tom, but I'll be taking on form of the JLT now. I'll be taking on horses against horses.
Are you literally doing that on the back of Mr. Fisher and Saint Sonnet running below par?
Well, you kind of have to.
Both ran below par, guaranteed.
Yeah, I wouldn't yet, because it's the first round of the season. They're not going to be 100% fit. They're going to come on for the run. If they run below, I say below par, second or third against horses they should be beaten if they want to challenge for big races, then yeah, I'd go 100% take them on. I'd give them at least one more chance, depending on who they're running against. I won't give another chance to Saint Sonic. I don't know, I didn't like it. There was something about it. He was very on and off and everything else to go with. That's
Shite.
it. Yeah. Anything to take out of it?
I just think don't give up just yet. You're like, that's their first starts of the season. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying rush in to back them next time, but I'm not saying write them off when you're evaluating. When you're evaluating their next races, don't say, oh, well, that got pulled up last time. Oh, that fella was well beaten last time. That came sixth. It was beaten miles last time. I'd mark up their form a little bit. I wouldn't give up on them.
Right. We move on to one more event that happened on Saturday. The photo finish farce that was in the bumper. So there was Ellie Bell and what's the name? Scara Lady. Both fighting out the finish. Apparently hit the line together in dead heat, but when the photo was brought out, it was clear as day that Scara Lady won by a nose. In this day and age, I have no idea how this absolute shite happened. It's ridiculous. They're blaming it was dark and everything, but if you just look at it properly, zoom in on it, you can clearly see that Scara Lady was.
You could see it when it happened. You can see it in live. She won. She bobbed right in the line. Like, I don't know if you're on anybody watching. If you're on the Scara Lady and you got your steak cut in half, you are robbed.
I was on the other one.
I just say I heard an interview with Simon Clace, the clerk of the course at Cheltenham today, and he said, you know, they'd seen a lot of people saying, oh, just start the races early. And it was like, oh, it's not as simple as that. And other races would have to fit in. It is as simple as that.
You just move back a bit.
You just move things around. Stop
on Saturday, right, the day it happened, Cheltenham started at 12:30. Lingfield started at 11:40. Punchestown started at 11:45. Uttoxeter started at 11:52. Weatherby started at 12:03. So why in the name of God has Cheltenham got to start half an hour after the last meeting and nearly an hour?
TV rights. ITV is the exact reason why they have to start at that time.
He basically said
then they need to move the races around to sort the fucking TV out then. Put the bumper first and move something else later.
Like, does the bumper even need to be on ITV?
No, it doesn't. Like, not at all. It's a heap of shite, like, basically, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're moving races around to suit TV rights. It just doesn't sit well, does it? So we're running in potentially in the dark, and this has happened before at Cheltenham. And then you get the issue with the low sun, and I know they're trying to move race times for that. Like, I don't see the England match getting moved because of being on at a set time. Saying, oh, 3 o'clock in the afternoon is when, we've got most viewers for ITV. So can you play the England qualifier at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Doesn't happen. It's on at a set time and you move the TV around it. What are they going to put on? Bloody, blockbusters or whatever you bloody call it.
Blockbusters.
What shitty game shows do they have on there anyway?
Catchphrase.
Like that. A Place in the Sun repeat from 5 years ago or something.
I'd like to go on Tipping Point if in case our man watches this.
Tipping Point, that's shit, yeah.
That's great, Tom.
Well, yeah, but not for the racing. Move it to another time. It's ridiculous.
We all should go on Catchphrase or something like that.
No, he's too good at Catchphrase.
Yeah, but the point is, it's not like there's another live event coming up.
Be surprised.
They have to get the racing over for.
How do you get all the Catchphrase things? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I know, man of many talents. But anyway, sticking with Saturday, we move on to Punchestown now. We start with Exterior Furlong's chase debut. Typical 1-4 shot done when he had to do it. There was a few mad jumps, but looked professional enough. He still done his little dive out to his right. Would you be going in next time? Grade 1?
I know, I'll watch him again. I don't think there's much to be talked about. He was good, but sure, it is what it is.
Tom, any thoughts on him?
Yeah, I thought he was good. Beat a couple of decent horses, I thought. Didn't jump too bad at all. Never going to rush in to back him after seeing what he's done. Listening, the worst thing I ever did coming up to last year's Cheltenham Festival was listening to people telling me that he didn't jump right. Oh, he doesn't. Oh, when Danny squeezed him on, he jumped straight. Bollocks. He jumped right. Like.
Yeah.
It was just painful watching it. But anyway.
It was, I agree.
If anyone's wondering what we were laughing at there before we get off the point. So true.
Little robot.
Mr. Chips, his name is.
Yeah, that's me.
Right, on to the Grade 2 novice chase, where Felix Stagey probably put in the best professional performance I've ever seen him put in my whole life. It was a very polished performance. He didn't go off like a tearaway. He left Size and Potsy go on, picked him up between the last and the second last, and went off. And we start with him first before we get on to below run from Darver Star. Surely puts himself firmly in the Arkle picture now after that.
I liked it, but I didn't like it because he's a lunatic, and I don't want to see him running like that. Like, I don't want to see a lunatic be controlled and then just win, and it's not exciting. And that's what it was for me. You want exciting because you just want to see him go mad. Like,
yeah, you do. That's true.
So
I'd be disappointed.
It was like, this is kind of shit.
He won, but I'm disappointed he won.
Yeah, it was.
Waiting to see him just put in an absolute mental leap from outside the wings. But he didn't. He was very good.
Look, maybe he's growing up a bit.
I don't want him to.
I know you don't want to, but look, maybe he is, and maybe that's the difference in him. But he's been to Cheltenham twice. He's been spanked twice at Cheltenham. I'd be disappointed if there's not something better than him in the Arkle.
I don't think he'd go to Cheltenham. I think he'd go for the 2 mile novice chase at Aintree.
That's sensible. I'd probably do the same, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd skip Cheltenham with him. He doesn't act around there.
Doesn't act around Cheltenham. Go to the 2 mile novice chase at Aintree. He won his novice grade 1 at the 2 mile hurdle at Aintree. So go there and he'd have a good chance.
Imagine people are backing him for the Arkle.
Oh, poor Google.
Yeah, someone just said they'd snack me because I said no.
Right, on to Darver Star. What the hell do you make of that?
Too bad to be true, I'd say.
There was nothing in it to say that he was going to do it. He jumped well, travelled well, he just didn't pick up. He was struggling a good bit out. Tom, what do you make of him? You kind of like, I know you like him, don't you?
Yeah, I like Darver Star, but he's a bit old probably to win an Arkle, so I don't know what to make of his performance the other day.
What do you make of him, Tom?
Yeah, I don't mind him. He was a rapid improver last season, and he ran an awful lot. Like he only had 112. He barely had a break, right?
Right.
And no, but he ran an awful lot is my issue. And when you get then, after running an awful lot, then you get into 3 grade 1s, you run your absolute heart out every time. Credit to the trainer, credit to the owner, lovely horse. He had every right to go and bolt up on debut. He's better than those. But just pitched into top class company now this year, he might just struggle, I think.
Yeah, I never really took to him last season, and I wasn't really impressed with his jumping either on his chase debut. But there was a few chinks in the armours there I seen. Like when he picked up the pace, he was kind of left flat-footed. Unless he wants to step up and trip, he could be one to row in with again. But I'm not really gone on him, especially with his age. He's no 14 that can go chasing at 17 and win grade 1s.
Yeah, probably.
Size and Potsy ran well.
He did run well.
Yeah, he ran cracker. I thought he was going to win, to be honest.
He loves that kind of ground. I think follow him through the winter, and you might do worse. Couldn't do worse, should I say? Right, on to Sunday, another chase debutant. The big breakaway, 10-length winner from a very, very lazy 3 mile chaser. He looked like he was. See him halfway around.
He's having a crack.
He was like, "What's going on here? Oh, we're racing. Okay, let's go."
They weren't even going to.
They were trotting around. He was getting bored.
He
was bored off his
tits. He literally got bored. Dropped back to 4th. Robbie Power gave a smack, and you're like, okay, so we go again then. I thought we were finished.
I thought it was the canter up the hill.
For me, and I know he probably didn't beat a whole lot, but it was one of the most impressive performances of the whole weekend. Some of the jumps he put in were just unbelievable.
He was very good.
Skying these things. And he's so big and gangly, but when he got in close, he still looked like he was nimble enough over. I reckon he'd be a good chaser. It was very, very impressive.
It's making the 3 mile division look very tasty this season.
Yeah, he He was. He is. I mean, people give out to me for not getting excited about races and horses, and
He's going to get excited.
He is.
Hold up now. Someone
they
record.
do. Everyone gives out for me for not getting excited about horses, and I think I've just seen it too many times to not get too excited just yet, and I know what can go wrong, but I really, really loved this performance today. I thought it was. Envoy Allen was very good on his chasing debut, and I thought this lad was every bit as good. It was a chasing debut that excited me, right? And I'll tell you, he is a horse that he's a horse I didn't really like last season. I just thought he was grand, he was fine. I wasn't mad about him at all. Every fence that Robbie Power fired him at, he came up from. Every single one. And then when he got in close, he came to the second last and got in close. And he was just nimble over it. It was really clever. I thought it was absolutely top notch. He drops the bit. He doesn't over travel. He's everything you want in a 3-mile chaser, I thought. And yeah, I'd be buzzing about him. I really, really liked him.
The 3-mile chase division is really exciting because you still have the big getaway to come out as well, which I reckon it would be very impressive as well when he comes out. But
what about the Monk?
Monkfish should be good. There's loads of them. It'll be good.
There's loads of them, yeah.
We're going to have to go for the 4-miler or the 3-mile, 6-miler or whatever it's called. But I would agree with Tom. It was every bit as impressive as Envoy Allen. I don't think he's a better horse than Envoy Allen, but there was way more wow factor in some of the jumps today that he put in than Envoy Allen put in. Some of them were just like, where is he getting these from? Like, he was standing outside the window, wee, the next one then, in close, wee. I thought it was brilliant.
Him or Robbie?
I think Robbie Power loved it.
As a professional performance, I thought that was everything you'd want on a chasing debut. And I know Tizard's horses are coming back into form now, but some of them have really needed their run. And he didn't beat much, but when Robbie asked him, Robbie gave him a slap then coming up the straight, and he picked up and went again. And I'm really looking forward to him.
I say it'd be hard to find a better 3-mile chaser over in the UK than him this season.
One thing that might let him down, he's only had like 4 runs in his life, so he's still very, very immature. So that might be one negative, but he was very good today.
But yeah, I think he need a bit of racing experience. But as far as jumping went and everything, that was spot on.
Well, Robbie said the issue he had in the middle of last year, he would have hurdled probably 2 or 3 more races, but it just so happened that he got a little injury and they had to back off him and bring him back for the festival. So I think Robbie said after the race you'll see him a good few times this year.
Hopefully. Then he go on to Cheltenham.
He's obviously got an engine as well, because Tizard came out in the week and said that he thinks he could be one of the best horses he's ever trained. And judging on that today, I know he hasn't beaten anything, but by God, he jumped well. And I love the way he drops the bit, because those ones that over race, they don't last. So yeah, no, I'm buzzing for him. Really looking forward to him.
It was everything you wanted to see from a stay and chaser, first time over fences. He's intelligent, he's nimble, he's athletic, he knows his job, and he has an engine to go with it. So it's everything you need, and he is 100% to keep on the right side of coming around Christmas time. He could end up, what's the race that round Kempton? That might be too tight for no.
I know that was talked about today.
Is it?
Yeah. The KO
Star, is it?
Yeah. I'd say he'll be installed a heavy favourite now for that.
Robbie said that's the plan, and he might go for a race at Newbury as well in between in 2 weeks' time, I think, for a bit more experience.
Hop around. Right, we'll move on to the Grade 3 handicap chase over 3 mile, 3.5 furlong, where Ramsey de Toy and Yala Anki pulled 35 lengths to your third. Your hoodoo was broken again. They're rolling in this week.
I tried to get Tom to get on both of these, and he wouldn't jump on Ramsey's de Toy. Actually, when he won, he texted straight away, "Go, I hate that horse." To be honest, he's owed me. I've backed him a few times, and he's let me down. He's come second or third, but the conditions of the race suited him. It's like I said the other day. Pipe has actually won the race a few times, so not much to be said about it. He done well at the second battle fairly well because I'd say he was about a length up and he only won by.
He's an absolute mudlark. Tom, do you want to say about calling him a bastard?
No, I said I hated that race when we previewed it, and I hate it even more now, to be honest. Seeing those two yokes coming up the hill, battling it out, I was like, I skip this. Come on, fast forward half an hour.
I can officially say now, Discorama is gone. He had his last chance. He's getting no more.
I won 2 points as well. We got a match right up.
Don't worry, it's a long season.
No. Don't go mad. I'm telling you, some of these Paul Nolan horses are still not right.
Yeah.
Because latest exhibition didn't run.
Shut up, we didn't. Shut up, we get.
Okay, we haven't got to him yet. Okay. But don't write Discorama off just on one bad run.
Right, on to the Schloer chase, where that beautiful mare put the kettle on, done us all a favour, and beat Duke de Geneva. And then it was a mile back to 56 lengths, in fact, back to Riders on the Storm. And that joke who they are trying for every year to turn him into a champion chaser, where he's fucking not a champion chaser. For the love of God, Phillips Hobbs, put him into King George.
Wow.
Anyway, put the kettle on. Done what not many horses done over the weekend and came from the back. She hated every inch of that race. She hated the ground. She hated everything about Cheltenham today. But she done what no one else done. She came from the back. She picked up the horse in front, and she went on to win going away, in fact. She, to me, is a no-brainer bet for the champion chasing after that. What are your thoughts, Tom? Dave?
I see a few of the lads were saying her prices are kind of varying 12s and 10s, and they're like, oh, she's surely not worth that price. I don't think how you can say she's not worth the price. She's raced around Cheltenham 3 times. She's won an Arkle trial, she's won an Arkle, she's won a Schloer chase. Right? I think a grade 3, grade 1, and a grade 2. She clearly acted on the course. She get a mare's allowance, £7. She's the top 2 in the betting, and I think she's better than all the rest of them.
Yep.
If the ground is not on the side of what Rouge Vif, or however you pronounce it, like he was taken out today because
Rouge shit.
Well, there you go. He's taken out today because the ground was tacky or heavy, so he wants some good in the ground. She whooped him last year in the Arkle on ground that he was happy to run on.
Yeah.
So to me, she's the 3rd best horse in the race. And Arkle winners have really, really good record coming on next season into the champion chase.
And
Altior is what he is. Shakan, who knows if he'll make it. She's a perfect each way bet to nothing at 12-10-1. If you wanted to double her up with something like Concertista that you know is going to turn up to Cheltenham, run a race to Cheltenham, and either place or win as well, I think you have a great bet there.
Yeah, I 100% agree. You take in what Dave said, the count, the form of Arkle winners going into champion chase the year after, the trainer who is a master at 2-mile chasers, she gets weight. She's what, 8 to 12-1 in the place. She's going to be placed. She's 3 from 3 at the track. She's going to get allowances. She goes on any ground. She's so underestimated, it's not even funny. If she beat Deafy Desai by a length today, everyone be ranting and raving about her. Deafy Desai done what Deafy Desai does, shits the bag over 2 miles. Tom's laughing there. I go back to it again. He beat a pensioner twice last year, who's now retired, and he's done fuck all since. He beat Plitterslow, gave him weight, and then he got whooped off Plitterslow in the bloody champion chase. Just give up with him and put him over 3 miles. Put the kettle on is the best each way bet of the champion chase. End of story.
Before Tom goes there, you said underestimated. You go through the years, there's always a horse here and there that gets underestimated. But when they keep winning,
do you know who it reminds me of? Special Tiara.
Yeah.
Never gets the credit he deserves. Winning grade 1s, winning the bloody thing at Kempton.
Because the way her career has gone, it's like, oh, it was a fluke last year. Oh, it was a fluke. Oh, it's another fluke. When it happens 3 or 4 times, it's not a fluke anymore. She's just a really, really good horse. Yeah. And you need to take heed of that and take the price and take the bets. She's a really good bet.
And if you even go back to her hurdle form, she beat Gypsy Island in her maiden hurdle. Which Gypsy Island, which most people think, if she wasn't didn't have all her injuries, she could be one of the best mares we've ever seen. But
yeah, and if my uncle didn't have balls, it'd be my auntie, you know.
And if Envian didn't have a win problem, he'd be a superstar.
Oh, that's back.
Could be a superstar.
Fucking he's a superstar.
Get more Corona quick.
What do you think of it, Tom?
All right, I thought, she hated it. We'll start with put the kettle on. Brilliant performance. Aidan said it afterwards. She hated every minute of that ground, and her guts and determination won her the race. And I said it a couple of times, like, once you have a mare that tries, there's nothing beats them. Like, you just love to own a horse like that every day of the week, because she just tried her heart out there today. It fell apart, that race, for a couple of horses, but she was the one who was hating it herself, but still got the job done. Yes, I think she's a player in the Champion Chase. We looked at it at the start of the season. It's a really odd market, and I wanted to go through it and try and find one to be the each way horse that, one of them might go and win, but not all of them are going to turn up. We picked on the Riesberg. He's on his way back. Apparently, he's still 33-1. Her price has gone now for me. She's 8-1. She's 10-1 best price in a couple of places. I'm not going to rush in to back her at that price. If she was that price on the day, fine. Yeah, or I'd play the place market or something. Question for you, Andrew. We found out at the Cheltenham preview night that you love Altior. You kept saying that Altior at 8-1 is a great bet for this race when we've spoken about it. Would you back Altior or put the kettle on at 8-1 now that they're the same price?
I'd back both of them, because if Altior comes out and wins this race, it's going to be cut into 2-1 favourite, and then you're sitting on 8-1. I back, as I said a few minutes ago, put the kettle on each way. She's an each way bet. She's going to be placed at worst. But if Altior comes back to Altior puts her on his back, drops her to 2 furlong pole, starts off and still beats them all.
This is my thing. I think Altior will nearly definitely win the Tingle Creek, the way that race is shaping up.
Which is 11-4, which is madness.
Tom, you want to back Altior for the championship.
He's not now. He's 7-4. I just checked because I heard he was 7-4.
Oh.
Yeah, 7-4. I was going to have a bet, but he's 7-4. He should nearly win that race. He will then halve in price to 4-1. So if you want to just play sensibly, Altior's a bet now at 8 because he's a bit too big. If put the kettle on as an 8-1 shot, then I think Altior should be shorter than her. I would ask myself this question: what price is she going to be on the day? I can't see her being any shorter than 5 or 6-1.
It really depends on what she does if she goes to Leopardstown at Christmas time in the race that A Plutarch won last year. It all depends how well she runs on that, if she wins it or not. So you're kind of hinging, do I wait till Christmas? If she wins that, she's going to be half the price. If she doesn't, she might drift out a bit.
Imagine she beat Shakan and all the Shakan lads are losing their minds. Oh, no.
Imagine if Shakan actually turns up.
Oh, look.
She did. You got to look at her form, though. Like, her form, even over fences in Ireland, was not fantastic at all. Like, she got beat by Robin DiCarlo before she went to Cheltenham in November. I think they'll try and keep her fresh enough. Maybe she might. No, she probably won't go over to that. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they run her. But her form in Ireland, I don't think is going to be as good as her form at Cheltenham. So I don't see her being shorter than 5 or 6-1 on the day. So I'm happy to wait for the day. But I'd probably back Altior at a minute. Now, Defi Desoy is a 5-time Grade 1 winner over 2 miles, right? But that's not even. It's not even the point. He, as I said on the previous show as well, he is a horse who can just bomb out for absolutely no reason. He just bombs out, and you never know when he's going to do it. He's done it as a younger horse. He did it in the Champion Chase where he went off 2-5 last year. That was his race for the taking. 2 miles or no 2 miles, he should have put them to bed, and he just bombs out. Like, he wouldn't, if that was 2 mile 4 or 3 miles today, he still wouldn't have won. There was nothing going to make him win today. He just had an off day and bombed out. is my opinion on him. I don't think the trip today didn't make any difference whatsoever.
Well, I just can't get around how people can see his performance today. Take his performance today out of it and all his performances. His jumping is horrendous for a 2-mile chaser. He balloons fences. He lands on all four. He takes too much energy to get going again. His best performance of his whole career was the JLT or Marsh, whatever it was called back then. He jumps slowly. He has a turn of foot. But if you jump slowly and have a turn of foot over 2 miles, you're going to use that turn of foot before you need to use that turn of foot. This is what I like the horse, but I hate him over 2 miles. If you gave him a price on him to run in either the Ryanair or the King George, I would tell you right now I'd take him. I'm convinced that once he gets a kind of a half a stride slower pace to go with, his jumper will be grand. He'll get away with the balloon and a little squeeze away because he'll have enough energy conserved going the whole way around that they'll be going that half stride slower that he can use that kick a furlong and a half out and win. You can put all these. He's a 2-mile winner, Grade 1 winner over such a trip. He's beaten Undersow, who wasn't himself. He was retired after it. He beat before that as well. He won the rest of them was over hurdles. He won the juvenile hurdle, the triumph hurdle. What was in that? Not much. The Ryanair, his best performance by a mile. JLT by a mile. The 2-mile performance don't equate to that whatsoever. So to me, he's 2.5 mile to 3 miler. He's not a 2 miler. He can't get away with his jump.
Yeah, I thought, I'm just looking at the book. For me, his best performance was the Tingle Creek last year against Undersow. I thought that was a brilliant race. And I think he's just a bit like Altior that, you think, you look at Altior, anyone who didn't know Altior, and you look at him run, you're like, oh, well, he wants to step up and train. Now, Defi Desoy can run over 2 mile 4 and does stay. And I've nothing against him.
Altior and Defi Desoy in the same bracket.
They're running styles. They're running styles, is what I'm saying.
You don't have to be on the style.
Defi's no, but you're saying that he looks like he needs a step up and trip. And I'm saying Altior.
It's not what it looks like. He's proven he's better over that trip. Altior,
that's not his best run on the book at all. Not by a mile.
Some fella sitting in the race supposed to say it wasn't.
No, because and time for that's how it's done. Because and racing, so. You're obsessed with him going over 2.5 miles. They obviously think he's a 2 miler or a 2.5 miler. He can run over either trip, but he is going to bomb out sometimes, and it doesn't matter what trip he's running over. He's going to bomb out. That's why I'd never back him.
I just give up talking about this fella. He's just I
can't believe I'm wasting time on him, to be honest. I know I used to like him, but he's a fool, to be honest.
You loved him. You actually used to love him.
Yeah, well, I loved him, and then he's not a 2 miler, and I stopped backing him because it's not a 2 miler. Like, he don't jump quick enough, he doesn't travel good enough. He's a turn of foot. Because he's a turn of foot, don't make him a 2 miler. I have a turn of foot, don't make me a 2 miler.
But he won 3 races last year, 2 of them great ones, over 2 miles.
It's on the show.
And you know what?
It was 11.
And you know what, right? I get one of the viewers to go back on the video last year, or when we previewed this meeting last year, the Schloer Chase, and I was the only one picked him to win, and you said he wasn't the 2 miler. So we'll see now when the lads go back.
And another thing I'll post, with the race he beat Undersow was the second one where he won by half the track. There was a 2.5 mile chase on the same day. You start the 2.5 handicap chase at 2 miles. The 2.5 mile beat Defi Desoy. The winner of that race ran 2 miles quicker than Defi Desoy ran. I can't have it. There's too much there. It's black and white.
It's not black and white. You can't say it's black and white, though.
It is.
It's not black and white. He's won 5 grade 1s over 2 miles, and his run in the JFT
we're not talking about
the best run of his life. So you want to throw all the form out the window, all the ratings out the window and just
I
say,
don't give a shit about ratings.
yeah, it's your opinion, which is fine, but you can't say it's there in black and white because it's not. Black and white says he's better over 2 miles.
Has he bombed out in the championship race?
Yeah.
Has he beaten a horse that was retired 2 days later? Has he been beat from 2 miles out by handicap chasers? Yes. And you want to go on time and figures?
Yeah, because that's black and white.
He was beat.
He's been beaten over 2.5 miles as well, yeah?
Yeah, but he's too... On to the Greatwood horse.
We're not going to agree on that if we talk about it all night anyway.
I know. That's why I go on that. Where am I? Greatwood Hurdle. Tom had the winner with the shunter 13-2. Ballyandy ran an absolute stormer, giving up to 3 stone away to the rest of them. Tom, good performance by an Emmett Mullins horse that's not usually backed a lot.
Yeah. Ascot, 25th of November 2017. Definitely decided 2.5 miles, bombed out. There you go.
So Dave, how do you think the Greatwood Hurdle went?
So what? I feel the exact same way about the Greatwood Hurdle that I do with the Paddy Power Chase. It used to be a really good race, and second season novice hurdler would come out with a top weight in it, and they would win it, and they go on to the champion hurdle and have a chance in champion hurdle. It's become a pig race. I now hate it.
It is. It's cat.
That's how I feel about it, and that's just the way it's going to be from now on.
I agree with you, Dave. It used to be a really, really good race, and I remember when Size in Europe won it. And when he won it, he went straight towards the head of the champion hurdle betting. The Shunters won this off 128. Like, you wouldn't get near this off 128 in years gone by. He was well punted. He looks like a vastly improving horse. He had a very low weight to carry. Ballyandy ran his normal cracking race off top weight. Tegarek, I thought, was coming to win it and just looked to stay and just gallop. Maybe a step up and trip for him. Could be in the offing. I thought it was going to get the 1-2 for a couple of strides, but anyway, not to be. But yeah, no, I agree, Dave. It's definitely not the race it was. And I think you just have to look at it now as a normal handicap, and yeah, it's just a normal Saturday handicap for me.
The gloss has gone off it altogether.
Yeah, if you're looking for a horse to go on and be a grade 1 horse or whatever, then yeah, I can't see any grade 1 horses in there.
Yeah, if you go through it, you'd struggle to find one that would even place in a grade 1. Mm-hmm. So enough of that. Tom, well done with your selection. Good lad.
For once.
Now, just one more race I want to touch on before we go on to Punchestown. Do we start questioning the bumper former last year now with Third Time Lucky and Queensbrook and all, a few of them running below par? Do we start questioning it now, or do we wait till the front 2 come out?
You'll have to wait till the front 2 come out, but it don't look good, to be honest. It doesn't. You'd want them to be winning races like Third Time Lucky was in today. And the thing in front got a good ride, but he would want to be winning that. So.
What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I agree that we should wait another little while. But it's getting questionable. Like, Third Time Lucky's got a handicap marker now of 129 over hurdles. Like, shite, really, isn't it? For a horse who was 4th, beating 6 lengths in the champion bumper, you'd expect them to be 140 at least. I'm just looking. I didn't really look at that race too much because we didn't cover it. But he went off even money. He was rated 129. The winner was 144. So the third 136, the fourth 138, and the fifth 141. In reality, he shouldn't have been anywhere near even money, should he?
No. When you said you go look through back to form, the winner went off favourite in a race that Paul Nicholls' horse that was in at 1. He went off 7-4, but he was unsteerable. He was going for, I think, a hat-trick that day. I think the prices were wrong when I look back on the hindsight. Is a great thing. At 14-1 was way too big for him. But I think they didn't respect him and gave him way too much. Yiway in the front, and he wasn't coming back at all.
I've just looked at this now, and I only watched this. I just watched this race when it was on and didn't really take much notice of it, to be honest. Didn't look at it before. Knew it wasn't a race I'd have a bet in. And I backed for pleasure the last day at Kempton. A friend of mine had him up on time figures and really, really fancied him. And I backed him. And obviously, it was just an unsteerable job. Yeah, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I literally just realised what horse it was there.
I kind of see the blood drain for you when you see him.
14 to 1. He's not a bad horse, that. But third time look, he did also try and give him about 15 lengths and make it up in heavy ground. So, you know.
I said after the race, and Kobo just put it in there, I wouldn't be surprised if they try and get third time lucky into the county hurdle now. Draw stumps on the Supreme. He loves winning that county hurdle, and if he has a horse that can go close in it, he will train up for it.
He's going to have to win a couple now to get into it.
Yeah.
To get into the county hurdle, you've got to be off about 134, 135, because I've looked at that this year.
He's rated, he's rated 129, I think so.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of a way to go. I've got a horse that's rated higher than third time lucky. It's class, that, isn't it?
You're going to run him at Cheltenham?
No.
Doubt it. It's too much prize money in France, but we'll see.
Right, so we move on to Punchestown. And we start off with the novice chase, where we seen Pencil Full of Lead beat latest exhibition by 7 lengths and then back to Brace Yourself at 40 to 1. What excuses do we have for latest exhibition, or was Pencil Full of Lead after improving a ton for a fence after last year?
Yeah, Pencil Full of Lead looks like he's definitely improved for a fence. Ran well at Galway. As I said to you straight after the race, cannot wait to see Cocoa Beach now. That really franked the form of that, because I thought Cocoa Beach was maybe a better horse than Pencil Full of Lead. Just the way he ran that race, he went off 10 lengths in front with the other horse, and Pencil Full of Lead sat in behind. So, yeah, look, he looks like he's improved. Best of luck to him. Yeah, he's going to have to improve again probably for Grade 1 company. Paul Nolan's horses still are not firing on all cylinders. Some of them are running well, but some of them are running like absolute dog shit, which, you know, it just happens. Happens to every trainer. It's happened to Colin Tizard this year again. So, yeah, don't write him off just yet is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I 100% won't write him off whatsoever. He's obviously... Dave actually touched on a point just before when he came up. I'll let you say it. Go on, it's your point.
Andrew's asking me what I thought of the latest exhibition. I'd give him another go. And I did say today, there's so many good 3-mile chasers. There's not going to be one for the season that wins every race. It's too hard of a division to be winning all the races, especially when they're all much of a muchness and they're all talented. So they'll win races here and there. Like that form could be turned around at Christmas. It could be turned around again at Leopardstown, so on and so forth. I think the ground was against latest exhibition. He didn't look like he liked it. And I don't think he likes going right-handed. I'd give him another chance going the other way around.
That was the small version of what you told me. Yeah, just going on what Dave said. When he said it to me, I was thinking back. Yeah, he won his Grade 1 going left-handed. He was placed in the Albert Bartlett going left-handed. He was beat going right-handed, and he was also beat going left-handed. If I think of it, behind who beat him?
He won that race against Andy Dufresne going left-handed as well.
Yeah.
Because I think it was at
Navan, yeah, and then Leopardstown, Punches. Yeah, he's won going both ways, but yeah, I can see what you mean. There's a point in there. Yeah.
There's 100% that he's a lot better than he showed today. Probably down to the ground, trainer not in form, but come Christmas time at Leopardstown, I wouldn't think twice about not backing him. I really like him. It depends what the rest of them do when they come out, but do not give up on latest exhibition just because of this. But take nothing away from Pencil Full of Lead. That was an impressive performance to put a horse like a Grade 1 winner like that to bed after jumping last. he's one to definitely keep on the right side of. He could improve again going forward. We all talk about that?
Yep.
Talk about that. Right. Quickly, Fury Road, what do we think of him?
He's a good horse.
Stay hurdle? Or is he going, or is that just a little?
Yeah, he's probably entitled to go and take his chance in it, isn't he?
He did go and going on his form last year, I'm sure he'd have a chance, but you want to see him once or twice more, I suppose, and see what way his form stacks up.
Right, the hell with that. On to what some are calling the shit show of Sunday. The Morgiana hurdle, where we had Abra, I love to pull myself up, Cadabra, St. Roy, who got very strange ride to say the least, and Jason the Milivant back in third. There was a neck and short head between the lot and hitting the line. Tom, we'll go on to you. St. Roy, what in the name of God was Mark Walsh up to?
Well, to start off with, I thought fucking Curse Sublime was going to win at one stage.
Okay, they're absolutely swinging.
Oh, it was that kind of a race. Look, I can see it was a horror show for Mark Walsh. We're saying, right, because the horse got keen and he got really, really keen, and I can see what Mark wanted to do: keep him in behind horses. He'll drop the bridle the second half of the race, and perfect. We'll ride our race from there. Your other option is to go to the front. In the best case, the horse drops the bridle and he settles. But if he doesn't settle, you've then got nothing in front of you to slow you down, and you're going even faster. So you are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. It all went wrong for him. It was a bad ride. I'd say he'll come in and say, I'm sure he came in and said, look, it was a bad ride. Just everything went wrong that could go wrong, really. He missed the third last, and that ended up put him last. He went to come wide, then he went back inside. It's just a horror show. But my point is, to pull that hard in heavy, heavy ground for that long, like he didn't drop the bridle to the second last, and then to run on like that, he must have some engine, lads. I'll take it. He's got to brush up his jumping again. I think, as we said before, I think he will as he goes quicker. I hope he does. The guys, Ruby, I heard him talking, and Willie, they don't seem to be too worried about his jumping. And they've been there with champion hurdlers. So if they're not too worried, I'll take their word on that. But it was just a horror show. But he had no right to finish anywhere near them the way he pulled. Like Abracadabra, dropped the bridle, settled lovely. Everything went perfect for him. And he's only a neck behind. St. Roy's only a neck behind him, and a stride in front of him. A stride after the line, he's in front of him. So I've no doubt the best horse in that race was St. Roy by a million miles. So look, the champion hurdle is still there. He's going to have to go and win one of these, but I want to see them go a gallop in a race for him, because that was just a horror show today.
Yeah, I agree. I think he was by far the best horse in the race. It was a strange race for him and for Mark. The move where he jumped the second last and tried to go up the rail instead of going out around, I never know in the mid years. Abracadabras is Abracadabras. He's not going to win a champion hurdle. He's just mental. He'll pull himself up. He needs to be delivered on the line, which won't happen. St. Roy, as you said, to do that, to jump like that, and to be beaten a snot on the line when getting a bad ride, which Mark Walsh will admit himself, is just goes to show how good of a horse he is. As you said, quicker to go, probably better he's going to jump. He hasn't moved in the market, which goes to show what the bookmakers are not taking any chances with him. As of now, what we've seen is probably the best that Ireland have to offer, even though Abracadabra is betting. But I think St. Roy, I think he's what's he now? Still 7th, 10th?
8, kind of.
St. Roy's about 8-1, yeah.
He's still a great bet, in my opinion.
I don't know if I'd back him at that price. I'm happy with my 20s. I'm not cashing out at all. But yeah, he's a bit skinny at that for me anyway.
I think there's a lot more positives to take out of than the negatives. Like his jumping, yeah, it's ragged. at best. But they've a lot of time to work on it. That's what you can think ahead of. He's with the best trainer in the world. They're going to sort it out. If they can make Classical Dream win a bloody Grade 1 and make him jump properly, they can make this lad jump properly. So I have no doubts that he's going to go very close in it. And I think 8-1, he's going to win one of these coming down the line. So I don't think it's really skimpy when you take into consideration what's in the champion hurdle.
Look, to be honest, before I talk about St. Roy Abracadabras, at the moment, there's been no performance that from any horse that's going to give Epiton 7 pounds. Not going to happen. She'll sprint away from him like she did last year as well. Now, bearing in mind as the season goes on, I'm sure there will be. St. Roy, to my eye, was by far the best horse in the race today. He didn't win, which happens every now and again. Abracadabras, no doubt, is a Grade 1 hurdler, but he is literally a new age Archibald because he pulled himself up again as soon as he went to the front. Jack's interview was very good after it as well. He said, like, obviously he hasn't ridden loads in races. Davey has. He's like, I got there way too soon. He didn't really get there way too soon. He got there way too soon because the horse don't want to go ahead of it. He's like building a waterfall. So he just stuck his ears up in the air. And to be fair, he was floundering the last 50 yards. That was all he had. But before that, he just kind of went, "Oh, I'm done again. Now I'm going to give this a little rest." It
was a question that was put to him. He said, "Was he tired, or did you get there too soon?" Second, he said, Jack Kennedy, he wasn't tired. He wasn't tired in the slightest. He's just an absolute character.
He didn't go on though. When they came to him, normally a horse will hear a horse coming and go on.
Yeah.
And he didn't go on. I don't know. I wouldn't touch him with barge.
He's been in the front.
He's definitely a bit of a monkey. There's just no doubt about it. But he was floundering the last 50 yards. If you put him in a race against Epiton will absolutely murder him. St. Roy has the most potential. But if he jumps like he did today, he has not got a hope of winning the champion hurdle. The thing about it is the champion hurdle is going to be run so much faster. And it's the same as I said for Goshen. A lot of these horses tend to jump better at speed. It forces them to jump better and they travel better as well. He didn't do what he done the last 2 days in the county hurdle. He was in amongst horses. They were traveling really fast and he actually sprinted away and he jumped way better than he has in the last 2 races. And the thing about St. Roy is McCoy was devastated. Ruby is devastated. Willie Mullins is devastated. The three of them know how good the horse is. So to question the three of them to say that he's not a champion hurdler is bonkers because the three of them know he's a champion hurdler. Willie has one champion hurdle horse in his stable this year, and that's the horse. So if you question it, you might end up
never getting to talk to Willie Mullins again.
You might end up, I don't know what to say.
Like even last year before Cheltenham, when Willie Mullins comes out and says, "This is the best piece of work I've ever seen, the best piece of work of my team that I've seen." How in the name of God can you go question a man like Willie Mullins saying, "Oh, he's not really a champion hurdle horse, is he?" And
the key as well is like JP owns Epiton. McCoy knows how good Epiton is, and he thinks St. Roy is the champion hurdle horse that they have. So.
And yeah, Dave, I agree 100% spot on. I saw interviews today with Ruby was obviously doing a lot of the commentary on it. They had Willie on, who I text you, he looked dejected. Like he looked gutted. They was just like, yeah, I don't know how that's been beat. And then I saw an interview with McCoy as well, and Luke Harvey said something about, oh well, he's not a champion hurdle horse, whatever. McCoy's like, don't write him off yet. So they all think he's an aeroplane. To pull that hard, he had no right to be anywhere near them. He's some engine, lads. And if you look at his jumping in the last 3 in the county hurdle, like he's electric. So better ground, faster pace. We'll see how he can jump there.
Someone texted me about a horse all the time as well, and he's full on sure he's going to place in the champion hurdle or give it a good race. And it's Bouvardere when he comes back, because he is by far the best jumper of a hurdle I think I've ever seen.
I wouldn't rule it out, but he is older than Thistlecrack, isn't he?
20.
I don't know. He must be 9 now, is he?
Hey, just you wait.
But you never know.
Next week, Tom. Is it next week?
Next week.
Next week. Here we go.
Yeah.
Straight to the top of the stairs hurdle markers after he whoops Paisley Park on the bridle. One can dream.
Tom is just like, shut the fuck up.
I cannot wait.
I'm reading some of the comments and laughing.
Yeah. I'll get to them in a minute.
Yeah,
There's
not having private rattles in the chats. It's like the WhatsApp group 2.0.
Right, before we move on to all the questions, we get a performance of the week out of each one of us. Dave, your performance of the week is?
The big breakaway by him Boyle.
Tom, yours?
The big breakaway, I thought is fantastic. He got me excited, and we know that takes a lot. I do just want to give a shout out as well to a young lad called Jack Foley, who rode a double today at Punchestown. He got Grand Partner, who's a 12-year-old, to win. I love Grand Partner. He's just a dude of a horse. Loves Leopardstown. And he got him up to win in the Dying Strides under a really good ride. I was just looking at him there. He's only had 9 rides, and he's had 3 winners. So fair play to him. And Tom Mullins is in flying form. If you're looking for a bet in the next few days, keep Tom Mullins on side.
That was his first ride as a conditioner today. So he's 100% strike rate as a conditioner.
Yeah, he's really good for him.
My performance of the week is the same as the lads. Right, so we'll move on to the questions. You kill airtime while I go look through these. Or don't.
Green Bay are after leaving us down.
We're not talking about...
They didn't beat the spread.
What was the score, Dave?
I think they're going to win by 4, Tom. But I know you like Green Bay, but they ain't winning the Super Bowl. Their defense is too bad.
Yeah, no, they're a bit too bad.
What are you talking about? Like,
defense is too bad.
Stupid. Bloody NFL.
The Seahawks got shown up last week. Their defense is too bad as well.
Who wins the Super Bowl, Dave?
I'd say at the moment,
right,
the most likely winner is Kansas City, but I still think Tom Brady will have a good shot at it with Tampa Bay.
What did you make of the Triumph Hurdle trial? Robbie said he was flat to the boards, stand with strong suit. Surely something better than him going to come out.
He's just not going to be able to do that in the Triumph, is he, though? Get outpaced and run on. I tell you, one, not for the Triumph, but for the Boodles, is potentially a horse that ran today, ran yesterday, called Druid's Altar. He was in my tracker. I put him up a couple of times, I think. But one first time out over hurdles, nice performance. Probably not Triumph class, but could be one to keep an eye on for the Boodles.
Here's a question from Tom Johnson. Trainer/jockey combo for each of you. If you had to have a team to go into the season with. Tom.
At the minute, it's got to be Henry and Rachel, hasn't it?
I was full sure you were going to say John McConnell. Genuinely.
I tell you, on that, yeah, Rachel and Henry, I just think they're top notch. I think they just don't make many mistakes. I think they're excellent. On John McConnell, he was getting interviewed there on Friday, and Siobhan was like, "Who's this guy?" And I was like, "Funny you say that." I said, "That's John McConnell." Apparently, me and him have never been seen in the same room together. And then I told her that that's what my hair's going to end up looking like. She wasn't too happy.
Is that what you get Siobhan to call you in the nighttime?
John.
Or McConnell, whatever.
McConnell.
It is John. John McConnell. Right, you.
Harry Compton and Paul Nicol.
One's in Paul Townend. Can't get away from the champion.
Yeah, well, there's 3 different ones.
Everyone's shocked now when they say Henry.
That comment above that about Monkfish,
You're not shocked, Andrew.
I think this is the biggest travesty in ante-post betting or betting in general of that shit now that Monkfish was shortened today because Fury Road won a bog standard race over hurdles. Ladies exhibition got baked, so they just shorten up. It's absolutely scandalous.
It is.
As I said to someone, no one's even seen Monkfish. We haven't seen him since last March. He could be blue for all the world. Nobody knows what he is or where he is or anything like.
But that happens though. Like Envoy Allen goes and beats some yokes up at Down Royal, and everyone's like, "Oh, 9-4, 2-1," you know.
Okay, go on.
Andrew, would you rather be both?
Go on. Go on, let's have it. Go on.
I'd rather have the shit hairline because I get it fixed then.
I'm fucking sitting beside you.
I could get hair transplant. It'll cost me a goddamn fortune to get that fixed.
This costs €15 every 2 weeks. Well, not anymore because
See?
it's lockdown again.
See?
It looks too painful, that though, Andrew.
I thought it was
Way too painful. And you're basically married as well, so it doesn't matter anymore.
It says the fella that's getting married before me.
Tom, yes,
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't care.
in your appearance, Tom.
Yeah.
Just
Really, Dave?
Just because I get yes, Tom. Yes, really.
Wow.
Put it.
I don't take offense to anything you say.
I'm not getting into this again. No, Robbie. Tiger Rowe retired after Latouche at Punchestown. He won't go there.
I never go there.
He won't go there.
I love the caps locks, Robbie, by the way. I love it.
We were up at Punchestown. The Latouche is at the Punchestown Festival, isn't it?
You were, yes.
Oh, Tom, we were up there. Andrew was having a wicked bad 2 days bet. And I backed the winner, the Latouche at 16-1, and he backed the thing that was second. I swear he went through the TV in the Labrooks up in Punchestown. I had to walk out of the bookies and everything and just walk.
It's a dark day.
It was a dark day.
I recovered though. Friday, Saturday cleaned up, so it was all right. You're allowed one dark day in it every once in a while. What's this now? Simply the bet's only third best horse over 2 mile 5 in his own stable. No chance he'd never win the Ryanair. So who's he on about, Tom?
I love this. Well, obviously Saint Calvados, and then I don't know, Rouge Vif. Would he step up to 2.5 mile?
I do.
But I love this. The amount of shit I've got now because Saint Calvados, Simply the Bet has got beat. Simply the Bet clearly didn't run his race and got beat, and then San Roy today, everything goes wrong for him and gets beat, and it's like they never had a chance. They were never going to win those races. It's like, come on, guys.
Isn't it a great thing? Like, we are here and we're on a social forum and you put your opinions out there for people to just knock. And, like, you had a bad weekend, to be honest.
I pulled out the fire of a 16-1 shot, though.
Yeah, but like, your ante-post picks for Cheltenham took an old battle this weekend. And Kumo in the group, I swear to God, he hasn't backed the winner since Cheltenham. And every horse against you that he said would beat, they all. He's just had to have the best weekend of his life. I'm telling you. His two main ante-post bets are Felix Destry and Fury Road. It's like, come on, man. And all he wanted was St. Roy to lose and simply to lose.
That's all he cared about.
Oh, brilliant!
Right. On that note, we call it a night.
Will they retire St. Roy? Oh my God!
We have one more.
Yeah, they're losing his leg.
What price would you put on JP to have the champion hurdle winner? He's even the money.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Epitaph will beat all of them so far anyway. So.
Right. On that note, we will leave it this time. So,
can I give out my tip for tomorrow night?
Yeah, do you?
Yeah, walk away.
TV Slade Wednesday. What?
I'm just gonna see what price it is. Now, it ran last time, should have won really. It's still 9-2. Yeah, Praying Mantis in the 5:20 at Dundalk for John Feen and Kevin Manning. Got dropped £2. Should pretty much have won the last day. Ran into Jack Mell, who's won his last couple of races. This is a really poor race. Has a good draw. 9-2 is a fair price, I think.
And on that note, we'll end for the third time. So we are back again on Wednesday with our preview for the Labrooks weekend at Newbury. So join us again on Wednesday evening where we'll be back with that. So thanks for watching. Give us a like, subscribe, and we will see you again on Wednesday.